So J.K. Rowling is in the news again, and it's not for a good reason. She's in the news trending worldwide because she went on social media and spouted once again TERF misinformation. J.K. Rowling is basically defending somebody who in the UK, that whether or not you identify as a man or a woman, you cannot change your gender because your gender is linked to your biological sex. And that people who, think otherwise are denying science and are just trying to protect the feelings of men who are pretending to be women. This is awful. And J.K. Rowling is basically endorsing that viewpoint. J.K. Rowling is a TERF. A TERF is a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. And basically they believe that only women are women, and when they say that, they mean only biological women. People born as women with the biological sex are women, meaning that transgender people basically aren't real. That if you identify as a woman but you have the biology of a man, you're just a man who's pretending to be a woman. That's what they believe. But those viewpoints are extremely harmful. And we as allies to trans people, to non-binary folks, need to do a better job of standing up to this. Not just when it's J.K. Rowling and, on social media, on Twitter, this world famous, writer, author, cultural icon. But, in our day-to-day lives, we have to stand up to this idea that biology and gender identity are one and the same, because they're not. So a quick, crash course is that your biology and your identity, for most people, correlate. I'm born a man, and I identify as a man. Most people who are born as men identify as men. Most people who are born as women identify as women. Like, that's the reality. Maleness in a biological sense correlates with maleness in the gender identity sense. But not for everyone. There are many people who are born with a particular biology but do not identify with the corresponding gender often associated with that biology. For instance, they're born male but they identify as female, or vice versa. And there are many people still who have a particular biological origin, but yet identify as non-binary. They don't identify as either men or women, right? There are transgender people who, are born male and then want to be seen and exist and identify as female, but there are still other people that see the gender binary as not expressing who they actually are, how they see the world, and how they want the world to see them. That's all very important. And what we need to realize is that while biology matters, biology certainly matters, it has a great relevance in our day-to-day lives. To reduce people down to their biology removes their humanity. That's the thing. Humans are not fully constrained by their biology. We're not. And to make it about biology purely erases the diversity of human experience, and it marginalizes and silences and ostracizes all those people, many people, who don't have a gender identity that fully correlates to their birth biology. And that's the simple reality. And there's no way to move forward with giving everyone justice, dignity, empathy, respect, welcoming in our society unless we allow people to identify with a particular gender identity, either a binary one or a non-binary one, and we respect their decision as much as we can, and we do all we can to make those people feel welcome. The motto should be, trans women are women, trans men are men. Non-binary people should be respected as non-binary people. There should be no caveats. That's the basic reality we should live as within our society. And people like J.K. Rowling, she says, do what you want, but don't deny the basic realities. What she's trying to say is, play your pretend games, non-binary people, trans people. Play your pretend games. I'll let you do that. But don't you dare try to say that you have any sort of objective right to claim your identity. The objective right is you don't exist. And people like this Maya person in the UK are objectively right. And I'm worried that we're silencing objective truth. J.K. Rowling's wrong. There is no objective truth to the fact that biology and identity are 100% linked. They're not. They're not at all. If we want to move forward and build a welcoming society and welcome in those people, trans people and non-binary people, who have been some of the most exploited and some of the most harmed and some of the most marginalized and some of the most stigmatized and some of the most forgotten people in our society, then the only way we can do that, guys, is to recognize that they have a certain way that they see the world and that they want the world to see them. Until we honor that, we're not doing enough to build a society where everyone's individuality is recognized as valid. And at this point, we're not there yet. And when we have famous people who have had such an influence on millions of people, putting these TERF misinformation campaigns out across the globe, we need to stand up to this. We need to stand with our trans and non-binary friends, our comrades, our allies, and we need to do better in helping them, get the information out. That they're not trying to deny that biology exists, but they're just trying to say that biology does not encompass one's humanity and one's individuality and one's experience with the world. And so we can do better. So we have to call out J.K. Rowling, but even in our day-to-day conversations, when you see people make these assertions, explain to them the difference. Explain to them why it matters people have the ability to be seen as they want to be seen. You won't reach everybody. You'll probably get some backlash. But the backlash we get for standing with, our trans friends, our trans comrades, it pales in comparison to the backlash they faced by simply existing each and every goddamn day. So let's all do better. J.K. Rowling, go away, TERF, and I'll see you guys next time.